Welcome to the Palace of Megapixels. This is Super Mega Grand Brothers Turbo.
Hello everyone and welcome to Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo. I'm your host Stephen White and with me is, as always, Todd Stark.
Hello.
And we have a very special guest, a return guest.
The first one.
For our 20th episode.
20th.
Wyked Beth.
Hi.
Welcome back. She's actually with us today in the Palace of Megapixels. And full disclosure real quick, if you happen to hear noise in the background, pay it no mind. We've just kind of moved the palace for an episode, so it's fine. It's fine. We wanted to make it special for episode 20 because this is our 20th episode.
20th.
So we've got special guests. We've got special sounds in the background. We wanted.
I'm wearing my good
all
underwear.
Out.
A lot of magical things are going to happen.
That's right.
I struck a match.
He did. He used the restroom before we started.
We need
to let everybody know that.
I had to take a poo.
He did.
Get intimate. Let's get intimate.
But it's good that he did that now before now.
I peed this morning.
Yeah, I did that.
I did.
I have emptied all my tanks this morning.
Yep. So we're good to go for an hour or so.
I had to wipe, and it was a good clean wiper. You know what I mean?
Good. Because I'm going to change the subject. We don't need to get into all that.
No, they need to know. There's two kinds of poos. One where you use all the damn toilet paper, and the other one where you just wipe once and there ain't nothing on it. I was wondering, did I even poop?
Well, I have to comment on this because I work in the health field. There is more than two types of poop. Okay, I'm just putting that out there.
Not in Todd world. Not in the Palace of Megapixels. We poop and use all the toilet paper, or we poop and use one roll. I mean one.
This is a great way to start it off.
What a classy way to start episode 20.
There should be a video game for people who love to shit.
Mm-hmm.
Poop. Sorry.
Yeah.
You can say shit. You can say shit.
We allow shit. That's a PG-13.
We put up with a lot of shit.
We
do.
Okay.
So it's fine. It's fine. So I'm just going to go ahead and get into it. Beth, what have you been playing?
I have. Well, since I've last been with you guys, I played Hellblade, which I am in love with. I've actually been playing it on and off on hard mode, see if I can, handle it, which is so fun, and it's just, I don't know, this game's amazing. And then a lot of Just Dance 2018, which has been awesome. I think their new songs are a lot more fun and make you want to dance to them, because I know the 2017, there's a lot of songs in there that was kind of like, I don't really want to do the dance because the song is kind of,
right.
You have to feel the music. I mean, I do anyway.
Oh, yeah. No.
And The Evil Within 2, which is freaking awesome. So
now, compared to the first one, I didn't get into the first one. How is this one in comparison?
A lot of people, when I first played this game, they gave me so many problems because they're like, "Oh, why are you playing that game?" I'm like, "It looks good." And I started it. I liked it enough to keep pushing through. It did take me a while, but the second one blows the first one out of the water.
Mm-hmm. It looks like it.
Yeah, there's a lot more elements into it. You do crafting, which I don't like crafting a lot. But the great thing about crafting in this game, you can stop in the middle of a fight and craft ammo.
Nice.
Just like in The Last of Us, right?
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of The Last of Us.
Okay.
It looks like The Last of Us.
Yeah. Sometimes there are certain scenes. There's even a scene that I thought I was in Resident Evil 7.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, this is interesting. Very interesting.
Well, it was the popular horror game last year, so or earlier in the year, I guess.
It's like they're almost taking elements from all the more popular horror games and kind of combining it into one.
No doubt.
Which could be the case, but I highly recommend it.
Okay, very cool. I might look into it.
It gets her stamp of approval.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Todd, what have you been playing?
I have been played a little bit of Shadow of War again. Put that down for a while. Picked it back up. Played Fortnite.
How's that?
It's okay. I mean, I don't like the art style.
Okay.
But it feels like PUBG. It looks like I've never played PUBG, but I've watched it being played.
Yeah, the art style is not. It's
cartoony.
It's
the freebie PUBG.
Yeah, if I got to shoot somebody, I want it to look real. I don't want to shoot Yosemite Sam. That's what I feel
Fair
like.
enough.
But I've even seen people play the non-free version, and I'm still like, I don't know. I'd rather play World of Warcraft. I'm going to look at those graphics. So.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. Dead by Daylight. Well, no, I didn't play that this week. I think it's it. Just those two.
Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's it.
Very
No
good.
comment.
No comment.
Strike a match.
But you did comment.
Well, after my comment, no comment about the comment.
Right. Okay. Well, I've been playing quite a few games. Played Injustice 2 a little bit, unlocking different skins. They had Justice League skins
I
come out
played
this
that
week.
too.
That was pretty fun.
I played
Did you?
that with you.
Oh, yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you played it. We did a little.
I got my ass kicked.
One-on-one.
But then I won 5 straight.
You did come back. You had to learn it. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
there was a
I feel
learning
a little
curve.
left out about this because that was like the first game that we were supposed to play together.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually
We
sitting
haven't.
on the couch playing with him. I don't
That's
know
right.
how good that game is online.
I don't know. We'd have to try it
That-
out. But
to
we
me-
can,
Yeah,
we
we
can
can-
play later.
Yeah, we can play it.
To me,
That's
it's like so timing based that it would be hard if it's.
Yeah, because I played Mortal Kombat X online once, and the lag was terrible. So it made it hard to fight properly.
Yeah.
So I could see if this had that same problem, it could be difficult.
And depending upon your internet too.
Right.
Yeah, because let me just say that I have HughesNet.
Mm-hmm.
And
you?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
You might have heard me mention that before.
Maybe.
But I have HughesNet. It's the same as having a garbage can on your roof.
That's right.
You give them the best advertisement. They
Mm-hmm.
really should be paying you now.
They really should.
Yeah. Like if somebody climbed up on top of my house and took a shit, it would and put a little like antenna in it.
Mm-hmm.
Better signal.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna take my next poo upstairs in my house.
Outside of that, I played the DLC, The Frozen Wilds for Horizon Zero Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
That was it was challenging.
Are you done with
I did finally finish it. I won't say that I finished everything that maybe I wanted to because I think I'd never finished the what do you call them? The trials, the hunting grounds.
Yeah.
I think I did 2 out of 3 and never went back for the third one.
Quitter.
I got sidetracked.
No.
How long did it take you to beat?
I would say a few hours throughout the week. So overall, maybe 8 to 10 hours ballpark.
Now, does PlayStation 4 track that? Like
If they do, I'm not 100% sure how.
Okay.
I've never really looked into it.
Sometimes
all
in
that
game
much.
they do.
Do they?
Yeah.
All right, I might have to look into it, but I would assume 8 to 10 hours ballpark estimate.
Okay.
But don't walk into it thinking that it's going to be a cakewalk, especially if you maxed out your level, because the new enemies that they throw in, the ice claws, fire claws, scorchers, they are vicious. They are absolutely vicious. You thought, what was the sawtooth, the one that would jump on top of you, or even the one that was the stealthy one that could
The
turn
damn
invisible?
stalkers.
Yeah, the stalkers. No,
That's what I say,
these are
hate
10
them
times
all.
worse because
Yeah.
they leap at you like a cougar or a leopard, and then they're constantly jumping at you, so you have to keep moving. And then when they're not doing that, they're throwing ice or fire at you, depending on which one you're doing. So you're constantly on the move, trying to get a hit in, and it's just difficult. So they definitely upped the ante for a DLC so you're not just saying, "Oh, this will be easy. I can just rush through this." No. Didn't happen.
I haven't beat the game, but I play it on and off, and just because that game really makes me rage pretty hard.
Yeah.
So, I felt like I was almost gonna break the arm of my chair one day because I just punched the crap out of it because I just could not just like get past as far as getting so annoyed.
We don't condone violence on this show.
And, I mean, it seriously made all the other enemies that were hard seem easy. Like, I even took down a Thunderjaw and said, this son of a bitch is easier than what I've been fighting.
And
just
that's
in
crazy.
comparison. It's ridiculous.
I'm going to love this when I finally play it.
Yeah, you
I'm like
definitely need to
play
get
the
onto
DLC
it.
now.
But it's definitely
You
a
gotta
fun
finish
challenge.
the game first.
I know, that's true. That's true.
Outside of that, I played a little solo Dead by Daylight because I wanted to try Freddy. I did the play as a killer, and I wanted to try that. Freddy is a very interesting character because unlike some of the others where you just go around hitting everybody and trying to chase them down, you actually have to suck them into the dream world, then attack them.
I was gonna ask you. I was curious about that. I was like,
Yeah.
do they do like the Dream World? Or
You-
are they just gonna make them like a regular like melee?
Yes.
Killer.
Once you get them into the dream world, the other people can't attack you. They can't stop you, but you still have to get them to the hook. Once they get on the hook, they come out of the dream world and they can go and if
good
they're
shit.
Can they
following
still
you.
like try to pull themselves
Yes.
off the hook and stuff?
Yeah,
Okay.
all that stuff still happens. So it got a little frustrating the very first time I was playing it because every time I'd get somebody on the hook, and I still wasn't sure of how the mechanics worked. somebody would come up, pull them off the hook, and I was like, okay, well, I can't attack you because I've got to suck you into the dream world too. So at one point, when I finally got 4 down the entire match, which I'd never done, I actually had one on the hook, sucked another one into the dream world, stabbed them, and then left them on the ground while the other one was waiting to get taken off.
You are vicious.
So I was just biding my time, waiting for other people to show up. It was like, come on.
That was a good tactic, though.
It was a very...
How like, difficult or tedious was it to get them into the dream?
It seemed a tad tedious. I guess the other addition that they put onto the character to try and make up for it is he's much faster than someone like Leatherface or Michael Myers. So he has speed, which helps you get to them faster. So that kind of makes up for the time you actually have to take to get them into the dream world.
Okay.
You like that? You like that? I'm doing hand gestures.
That's what you do to get them in the dream world.
Just like that.
Because
you have to put your hand up, and that's kind of like bring them into the dream world.
He goes,
and then
hey,
it sucks them in.
Hey,
get in there.
Go to sleep.
But it was fun. I mean, like I said, one of the last times that I played, I actually got everybody killed. And that was so much better because the first time everyone got away, and I was like, well, this was stupid.
Yeah.
So I went back and played another killer just to kind of get a feel for everything, and then came back to him later.
There's one killer in that game drives me crazy. It's
the
like a mummy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
The
She's
chick,
super fast.
yeah, and then she kind of like disappears.
She's weird.
Hate
and then
her.
The other one was
her.
the one that's so quiet, couldn't even hear. I think
Michael Myers.
Yeah, it was Michael Myers.
He rolls up on you.
Yeah,
like
he
Yeah,
just
you don't even
reaches
know.
up
It's
on
like
you.
holy
Rolls
crap,
up on you
you're
like
right
your
there.
granny when you're in the bathroom with the Sears catalog. Granny, no.
No. And finally, I played this yesterday and this morning. Crumple is finally out.
How is it?
And I actually got to play it. The very first time I played it, I was trying to get the mechanics of it, trying to get a feel for it, because it's different. You don't play it, you kind of play it in a Flash player, which I had to download, which was, different. Mm-hmm. But it played very well. It was very much like a platformer, all the elements that you expect. The end of that game, or at least this portion, because it's supposed to be like episode 1 out of 3, I believe. But the ending, the boss fight was, oh my God. I was raging at some point because I was like, what am I doing wrong here?
What is the boss fight?
What it is you get to the end and you activate this, I guess it's like an electrical circuit. Mm-hmm. And that's supposed to charge up this elevator, which will take you all the way to the top, and that's how you get out. You have to press a button to start the elevator to go up. As you do that, fire just starts raining down on you.
And brimstone.
Yes. And brimstone, why not? But all these sparks and fire balls just start kind of coming down on you, and this is not a game that gives you an edge. Mm-hmm. If you barely scrape a flame, you're burned. Mm-hmm. That's it. So you stop.
I experienced that in the demo, which was driving me insane. But yeah.
Yeah. So I had to figure out the method here, because as you press the button, it starts to go up, and then you are given a box that you can climb under to kind of keep yourself safe from all the fire coming down on top of you. But eventually that's going to burn up. Mm-hmm. When that starts to burn up, like a big pile of paper comes down and hits the off button and starts taking you back down. So you're basically bouncing back and forth to that switch, trying to get all the way up so you can get out. And I got so frustrated, but there was a pattern. I eventually learned how to overcome it and avoid all the little sparks.
Okay, good.
So the very first time I played, I actually took a picture of it so I could had it for record. The very first time I played, I got through it in a little over 30 minutes, but I died 64 times. The second time, I was like, all right, and one of the achievements that you can do is beat it under 15 minutes. So I said, all right, I'm going to try this again, see if I can rush through it. And another one is don't die. Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't achieve that. I tried. I really did, but at some point I was like, screw it.
They should have an achievement for like a high number of deaths, because then I would totally rock that.
The second time I got through, I got done right under 15 minutes. I think it was like 14:55, but I died 10 times. But I did get through that last level without dying. That boss battle.
Oh, good.
So 14 minutes.
Huh?
14 minutes.
Yeah, 14:55. So right under the 15.
Yeah, 3
minute
seconds.
Mark. So it was good.
5 seconds. 3 seconds.
But I will definitely go back and play it again. It's definitely fun. I'm looking forward to the others. If you got a buck, go buy it.
Yeah.
Is it on iPhones?
He's got it on Amazon Fire. You can get it on Humble Bundle and Game Jolt, and then Amazon Fire I know is the other. I'm sure that there's going to be a push later on to put it on other mobile devices and whatnot.
Right.
But I'm not going to speak for him. I don't know what he's planning. But it's a good game, Gabe, if you're listening. So I recommend it. Anyone else that's
Congratulations,
listening hasn't tried it. It's
Hi,
a
Gabe.
buck. It's a buck.
It's a buck.
Yeah,
$1.
it's not gonna break you, and it's worth the $1. I think
Who
it's
knows
actually
the
worth
mayor?
more
What
than the
would you say?
$1.
How many deaths did you have? 64?
64.
$1 for 64 deaths.
Yeah. In 30 minutes.
That's right.
fun.
I'm gonna wet my whistle real quick. But now we're gonna get into the news.
All right, Marco Rubio.
All right. Okay. Like I said, our very first story, I was telling them off air, it's a huge story, 2 pages.
And this is about
What has been the big news story this week? What came out this week?
that Republican senator.
No.
Star Wars?
Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. I forgot
Yes.
about that. That was yesterday.
A lot of news from Star Wars Battlefront II.
People are kind of pissed.
It looks awesome, though.
It does. But again, if anyone's heard the story, seen the headlines, there's been a lot of controversy this week. We saw the game come out. As soon as players got their hands on it, all hell broke loose and a wave of complaints came rushing forth. One of the biggest complaints that has come forth was regarding EA's failed attempt to modify the loot crate debacle that was started during the beta. I think it's when that really came out. Another one has surfaced upon the game's release is that the credit system within the game seemingly dispenses a very meager amount of credits that requires a reported 40 hours worth of gameplay just to unlock one singular character within a roster of highly sought after characters. So it would take you, if you've got Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, Yoda, whomever, and you want that character, you're going to have to play 40 hours per character to unlock them.
Dumb.
That's what the reports have been. I don't
they
know that
changed it,
personally.
Do
right?
they think, like, all gamers don't have lives or something?
Well, and
No,
at
no.
first, when I heard that, I thought, okay, 40 hours. I thought they meant for everything. I thought,
That's what I thought.
you know,
Yeah.
most gamers can put in 40 hours for a game, no big deal. But then when I heard per character, I was like, okay, that's different. I don't have 40 hours per character to spend.
No.
But EA and DICE have attempted to quell those flames, or they attempted to. The responses to the public have been unsatisfactory. Numerous pre-orders were canceled before the game's release because of this. Even developers tied to the project have received death threats, which is ridiculous in my opinion. This is a game, people.
That is
People love their Star
ridiculous.
Wars.
I know, but come on. You
If
don't
this was Contra, they wouldn't be trying
threat
to kill him.
death to people because your game...
No, if Last of Us 2
You don't
sucks.
have to spend the money,
Exactly.
you know?
Last of Us 2 sucks. I'm calling Neil Druckmann.
Okay. Players actually review bombed the game on Metacritic, having it sit at a user-generated score of 1.5 versus the actual critic score of 79%. One user wrote, "Game about donate, not Star Wars. EA should rename this Donate Front 2. That's, you know, clever." And another just read, money, 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 money. So these are some sharp writers here. These are some sharp guys writing these reviews.
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to do that.
No.
What did Jinx think of it? Did you ask him about it?
He seemed to enjoy
Yeah.
it. I don't think I asked him after he streamed it what his initial thoughts were of the game, but he during the time we watched him stream, he seemed to enjoy it.
Yeah, from what I
So,
saw.
but I'm sure he's not a fan of EA, so
Yeah.
I'm sure he's not too happy with what they did. DICE actually issued a response revealing that they had lowered the cost to unlock its heroes as a result of the player criticism. The developer stated that they would continue to tweak the game post-launch in line with the player feedback. I'm going to, just a little opinion on that. I'd say at this point, stick to your guns. If you did this and people are mad, screw it. Just stick with it.
I don't think
any
it was
change you
DICE.
make, it's going to be in vain.
You're not going to please everybody.
No. People they're just going to get madder and madder because I even saw comments was like, why don't you just make it free? Of course. Why not? Let's make everything free so you can play this game that people spent millions of dollars to make. Just for you because you're mad that you have to pay for a character. But again, I understand where the frustration is coming from, but still, that's a stupid argument. I can go back to Friday the 13th and that debacle of give him to me for free because I didn't pre-order him on because
Friday
it was
the
a
13th was
reward.
huge debacle.
Yeah.
Ugh, I'm still salty about it. Anyway.
But DICE
She's
even
one
held
of
a Reddit.
She's one of them.
Yeah.
She probably sent
No
a
death threats, though.
No.
Yeah, right.
Almost, but no.
Now, DICE held a Reddit AMA in hopes to getting their players to better understand the design choices in the game. John Wasilek, I hope I said his name right. He's got one of those names. Who's the executive producer of Battlefront II, immediately addressed the issue concerning gameplay time to unlock characters, saying, quote, "We've seen speculation about how long it takes players to earn things, but our averages based on play first trial are much faster than what is out there. But as more players come in, that could change. Now, we are committed to making progression a fun experience to all of our players. Nothing should feel unattainable, and if it does, we'll do whatever it takes to make sure it's both fun and achievable. As we update and expand arcade mode, we will be working to make sure that players can continue to progress without daily limits." Regarding the pay-to-win concerns, he added that this concern has come through loud and clear. We're going to continue to adjust the crate systems, content, progression mechanics, and hit a point in which gives players a great balanced experience at all skill levels. We are working to expand the number of ways that players can progress, putting more control in their hands, providing more options and choices in the way people play. There's not much in the game that we wouldn't want to revisit to improve the game for players as much as possible. Now, Paul Kesslin, the multiplayer producer of the game, explained that the daily cap on credit in offline mode was to ensure that players didn't just put it on easy and just milk credits. So that's why they put a daily cap on it. He said, "We wanted to let players earn credits offline in a more relaxed game mode. We needed to also find a way to make sure that it wouldn't be exploited." I can kind of understand that.
I can't.
But
Not
it's
at all.
offline mode. Mm-hmm. Make it separate. Make offline mode, you unlock certain things here, and then in online mode, you unlock stuff there, not put them together. Because a daily cap on something that you're doing offline, that's ridiculous. That's...
Yeah. Well, that's what I was talking about that one time. Like, whenever you tell me that I can't, like, I've got 10 plays today.
Yeah.
Then I have to buy more.
And that goes back to Candy Crush type stuff. This is not a mobile game that you got for free.
Right.
So you only have a few plays that you earn stuff with. That's ridiculous. This is a full playable game that you're paying $60 or more for. You should have the ability to earn whatever you want at all times as you play.
Right.
So daily caps for something like that is ridiculous, I think. So I try to understand it from the grinding aspect, but even again, if you put it to easy, why not adjust it to where you're not earning as much if you have it on easy? You earn minuscule, but then you can earn more if you crank it up to hard.
Yeah.
That seems like a better way to go about it.
I think so.
However, during all of this, and I don't know if you guys heard this or not, EA actually made history by receiving Reddit's most downvoted comment in history.
I'd heard about that.
In a post titled, "Seriously, I paid $80 to have Vader locked," EA responded with this, Jim. What?
That's what you told me. I'm going to tell you back.
Okay. The intent is to provide players with a sense of pride and accomplishment for unlocking different heroes. As for cost, we selected initial values based on data from the open beta and other adjustments made to milestone rewards before launch. Among other things, we were looking at average player per credit earn rates on a daily basis, and we'll be making constant adjustments to ensure that players will have challenges that are compelling, rewarding, and of course attainable via gameplay. We appreciate the candid feedback and the passion the community has put forth around the current topics here on Reddit, our forums, across numerous social media outlets. Our team will continue to make changes and monitor community feedback and update everyone as soon and as often as we can. That comment now sits at close to 700,000 downvotes as of writing this.
Damn.
Wow.
That's a lot.
And players were not the only ones criticizing the company, as a few game developers chimed in on Twitter to throw a little bit of shade. Gaijin Entertainment, makers of Thunder War, or War Thunder. Have you ever heard of that? I think it's like
That's a old World War II game.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
They posted an image on their Facebook page featuring one of the antagonists from their game with Darth Vader's face superimposed over the actual pilot with the text, "The feel of pride and accomplishment when you can play the bad guys for free." And Blizzard even went to Twitter on their official StarCraft page and tweeted several posts mentioning how many hours of gameplay it takes to unlock certain features in their game. In every tweet, the number read 0. So, but I kind of find that a tad ironic because aren't they kind of responsible for the whole loot box popularity in a way? Yeah, I mean, I know Overwatch is huge with that. Mm-hmm. Now, to what degree, I don't know. I've never played Overwatch, but I know that they have loot boxes in that, and it really kind of started because of them.
PUBG too, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because in PUBG
PC
you can buy.
is what we can have to blame for this.
Who?
PC.
But I mean, they've been known to be kind of. You can hit him.
No, she can't.
I don't know. I might knock the mic over.
So I'm just gonna
be,
But
she's under contract before this. She cannot hit me.
But I mean, they've even been known for some shady monetization schemes in the past. So it's a little like calling the kettle black.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. But no, it was kind of funny what they did. And if all that wasn't enough, on top of this, the Belgian Gaming Commission, which regulates all gambling in the country, is currently investigating whether or not loot boxes in the game should be categorized as gambling. The commission's director, Peter Nasons, which I'm hoping I'm saying correctly, says that if your ability to succeed in the game is dependent on random outcomes, in this case the content of loot boxes, then the commission will have to consider it a game of chance. If there is a game of chance, it is not possible without a permit from the Gaming Commission.
Boom.
Now, after I did all this research throughout the week, at the end of the day yesterday, after all of this, on Friday, EA officially removed microtransactions from the game.
Woohoo! Maybe that's the start.
An official statement confirmed the removal of crystals, meaning that every piece of gear and heroes will be earned via progression. However, there is a catch, obviously. The publisher claimed that it will enable the ability to purchase crystals in-game at a later date. And this will only be done after EA has made changes to the game thoroughly. So, what are your thoughts on all this?
You want to take this one?
I feel like it's a little too late at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, you've already burned so many people. People have turned the game, returned it.
Yeah.
So you're giving it to them for free. You caved. That's what you did.
It's your own damn fault.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that that's a trend that's fixed to start coming with getting rid of the microtransactions.
I don't feel like there's a bad use for it if it's done properly.
Right.
But what they did was wrong. Mm-hmm. There has to be some. I know we've discussed it in the past where we understand the need for it because games do not cost $60 to produce like everyone likes to think. The price has been maintained at $60 for years now.
Right.
Despite seeing an uptick in price over the last decade or so. I mean, there was a time when you could get a game for $30, and that was just the norm. Look back on PlayStation. You know how often you could get cheap games there. But now, every game is $60. But we know for a fact inflation is still a problem, and they have to recoup their money somewhere. This is not the way to do it, but there is a way to do it, and to do it right. So I'm trying to understand the reasoning for it from a publisher's perspective to recoup losses.
That's it. You know, they pay all their developers and stuff. You know, they get a salary $60,000-$70,000 a year, and they're paying them throughout the whole entire life cycle of this game before it comes out. And I guess the microtransactions are a way to keep the money flowing afterwards.
Yeah.
And keep the doors open.
I've never done a microtransaction.
Yeah, and see, I wouldn't. I a few times maybe, but I've never done a bunch of them.
The only money I've ever spent on a game was World of Warcraft and Guild Wars 2.
How much money did you spend on those games?
World of Warcraft, way too much.
Yeah.
No. You gotta give numbers. I gave a number.
I don't know. God, I can't even tell you.
I did. Remember, I told you about that Family Guy.
At least $100. At least.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a lot of money.
But yeah,
I beat you.
that hot. Oh my God, what did you spend? Like $400?
$400.
Yes.
But it was in a way that I did not realize what I was spending. I didn't just plop down $400 and say, "There you go."
Yeah.
It was more like
they creep up on
you. Yeah, because you don't. When you look at from small transactions, you can talk yourself into it. And I think I've been trying to understand some people where they try to argue the fact that it's gambling, and they use kids as an example. I can understand that because a kid can easily go to their parents or by themselves if they have the means to do so to purchase it online, where they talk themselves into saying, it's only $5.
Yeah.
And then you continue with that argument in your head. It's only $5 right now. And then when you finally look back at everything you spent, and that's what I did, I looked back and I was like, oh my God, what have I spent? And what have I gotten from it? Nothing.
You could have went on vacation.
Yes.
I spent quite a bit of money on my singing monster.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Your
I don't think I ever
singing
did.
monster?
Well, I'll take
Yeah,
that back. I
don't
know
know
I
why.
probably spent a little, but I don't think I spent that much.
I probably spent $100,
Fair enough.
but that's probably the most I've spent on a game.
Yeah.
This guy I
It
work
got,
with,
it got a little... they find a way to make it addicting.
I know,
The
man.
simplest
Yeah.
little thing.
You want to hear the song? I want to
Yeah.
hear the rest of the
You
song. I
wanna
got
hear
this
all the
little
little
toad
things.
that goes boom, boom, boom,
Boom,
boom, boom, boom. You know, like I want to know what the hell the next
Yeah.
guy's gonna do. But yeah,
And I always
mix it
find
all
when I
together.
do spend money on a game, just reflecting here, I just end up like I play for like 2 weeks and then I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm like, damn it, I spent like $200.
And that's why I'm so careful about buying a game outright, because unless it's something I've just been dying for, and I just know, like Monster Hunter, that's a game that's coming up. Shadow of the
Yes.
Colossus.
I can't wait
when
for
it's
Monster
coming out.
Yay.
Those are games
Yeah.
I know I want. I know I'm going to get a lot of
Yeah.
joy out of it and replay value, so I want to get those at launch date.
Monster Hunter. They're going to have microtransactions on that?
I haven't heard. I can't imagine they would,
Okay, good.
but
It's Capcom.
then again, they could. I have
Yeah.
not heard that they are, and I really couldn't. I guess, for example, the last Monster Hunter that came out on the 3DS that I played, which was Monster Hunter 4, I believe, they did monthly updates where it was an extra DLC that you get. You didn't have to pay for it, but it would be an addition into the game that you could earn the armor or the weapons that you got, but you actually had to go out on the hunt that they gave you and said, if you want this, like they did Legend of Zelda gear and stuff like that, they didn't give it to you. There's like, here's a hunt. If you can achieve this, it's all yours. But you have to go earn it.
Yeah.
That to me is cool.
I like that.
Yeah, that's
a beautiful thing.
that's not giving it to you. That's saying it's there if you want
Yeah.
it. If you want to put yourself forth to get it, have at it. But I'm not giving it to you for free.
I've kind of thought like this is, like going back to like MMOs and like Guild Wars 2 and stuff. Those games, require a lot of time to get like the best of the best, and you always want to get the best and the best of,
Always.
armor and whatever. And I'm like thinking, I wonder if they do that for people who work a lot and have the money so they can just buy it and continue to play the game and have fun with it.
One of my complaints with Monster Hunter that I always had is one of the cool aspects of the game is that you don't normally just get one set of armor or weapon that you fight with. You always want to have a collection because no matter who you're fighting, you have to change your tactics. So
Yeah.
if you're going after a Rathian, they have fire and poison. You want to make sure that your armor is equipped to handle fire and poison, so you're going to be well protected. Then the next fight, you may be fighting someone who's water-based, so you want to change your armor to match that. So it kind of gives you incentive to build those armor sets and your weapons to improve them, to make them better, so you can be a better and more efficient hunter. But one of the things that always aggravated me is when you're out on these hunts, sometimes you don't always get the part that you're looking for, and that's why you always go back out. Because you say, well, damn it, I've got this one part I need to upgrade my sword, so what do I need to fight to do that? Okay, well, I got to go fight this, so I go back out there. You go fight and you don't get it, but maybe your partner does. They don't give you the option to trade, and that
I
just
don't
seems
like
like a
that.
missed opportunity. You're with people, why not allow a trade? Now I can understand that maybe it makes it a little easier, but that makes it also a little bit more interactive with your player.
Yeah.
Because you can say, hey, dude, I've got this that you need, and you've got that what I need. So why don't we trade, and then I can get the sword that I want, you can get that. And I think that also kind of opens up the idea of playing more together.
Yeah.
Because if you've got more people out there in the world and someone gets something you need and vice versa, that gives you more incentive to hunt together. So that's something I kind of hope they change. I don't know if they will. Just something I would love to see.
They should make it where if you have a certain armor and you want, like, say I come up to you and you have this armor you're not using, but I have an armor that, I can trade to you. Certain armors you have to use a certain amount of stuff to trade to get your stuff. That way it's not just, hey, give me your armor.
Right.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, a trading system between players would be fantastic. It would be a great addition. I kind of hope that they will consider it, but I don't know how this is going to play yet, so we'll see. I know
It's gonna play good.
They said that it's going to be good for people who've never played Monster Hunter. This would be a great time to jump in.
Yeah, I've never played either, so that's what I'm curious. Have you talked to Zeely?
I have not yet, but
Okay.
I'm fingers crossed. Let me tell you.
Yeah, well, I've been a little bit, so and I know you chimed in, we were chit-chatting about it a little bit, so
because I'm in
yeah.
any which way. The game's going to be in my hands one way or the other. So, and I really want to play with you guys. I want to play with anyone who's willing to play because it's a fun
It looks
game.
awesome.
It's very, very fun. Again, there's a bit of a learning curve because the very first time I played it on the Wii, when I read a review of it, they said this is not a game for everyone. Mm-hmm. And that intrigued me because they gave it such a high mark, but they said you really have to work for what you're doing here. The very first time I got into it, it stomped me down because I was like, what am I doing wrong here? And I put it down for a bit and I came back to it later and I said, okay, what did I do wrong? What do I need to change? And once I figured it out, I felt like I became a real hunter, like
a monster hunter.
Yes,
See, that's
a monster
what
hunter.
I like about video games. I like the challenge. You know, I don't want to be like, oh, here's my money and give me what I want. Like, I like figuring things out for myself.
Yeah. And see, there was a time there's a monster in I think the third and the fourth one that's supposed to be like the worst monster you can encounter, and he will just show up at random, and you don't want to get tangled up with him. So early on, before I actually got into a real fight with him, every time I saw him, I was like, nope, screw it, and I'd just run off. When the very first time I took him down, I got a sense of pride, and I was like, every time he showed up from that point on, I was like, all right, bitch, come on.
Bring it, bitch.
Yeah, I was ready to take him on because I was like, I took you down before, I'm going to do it again.
Well, now I have a question. These battles or these bosses, can you do like a group or is it just solo?
No, the fights themselves, unless they change it, you can have a party of 4.
Okay.
400s at a time that you all go out together and you take them down. Now, if you do solo, which I'm sure they'll have in the game, the hunts are easier in a way, just to kind of counterbalance that it's just you hunting alone.
Yeah, so they
But
scale
when
it.
there's 4 people,
Then,
the difficulty increases.
Well, see, that's so appealing to me because what really, like, before I went to, like, just straight up PC solo playing games, I played a lot of MMOs, and I love that aspect of coming together as a group. And they did the same thing. The bosses would scale. It would be certain mechanics. You had to follow mechanics. You had to follow the pattern. And if you die, then everybody's going to die.
Yeah, and that's the other part of it too, is normally, again, I'm not sure how they're going to do it, but in previous games, if you went out on a hunt, someone would start the party, they would pay their money, and then there would be a full reward that you would get if you all succeeded. Mm-hmm. If anyone dies, and it was usually after 2 deaths, everything's done, like the entire mission has failed. But every time someone dies, the amount of money you earn goes down. So it's an incentive to make sure that you're playing right and staying alive. So anytime I was ever out on a party, if someone was getting overwhelmed, it's like, get out, move, go.
Yeah.
We'll take care of it. You go heal yourself. You take care of yourself. We'll take care of it. You come back when you're ready. Mm-hmm. And I think, and that's good teamwork.
Yes.
To really kind of manage your team properly.
Makes it
you'll
kind
know
of realistic too.
Yeah, because you know who's managing. Everyone needs their own skill set. Like, someone needs to be the powerhouse. Someone needs to be the healer who can kind of come in and take care of things.
Yeah.
Maybe someone's distracted.
Do they do like the Trinity type thing? Like a tank, healer, and DPS type thing?
It's more really on the armor set that you're using and the weapons that you use, because they have a wide array of weapons, and I feel like each one kind of will work to someone's skill set. Mm-hmm. Because I always went with the great sword. It's not fast, but it's powerful.
Yeah.
So you have to really manage your hits. So if I see an enemy who's bouncing all over the place, I have to make sure that I'm going to hit them, because if I do one huge swing, I'm going to be trying to get it back up and trying to reset my hit. Mm-hmm. So you have to kind of manage how you do that. But then you have like little swords that can kind of come in. They don't do as much damage, but it's powerful, quick little hits. Yep. So you're kind of wearing them down slowly, but quick, in a manner of speaking. So
slowly but quick.
Mm-hmm. Quick hits.
Timely.
There you go.
Don't help him.
Shut up.
Do not help him.
All right, well, we're going to move on. We've trailed off on Monster Hunter. But yeah, the microtransactions, it's balls. The next story is an update on one that we covered last week about the Xbox One X. The story we covered last week was early adopters were seeing their consoles essentially brick mid-gameplay. It seems that the issue is not a hardware problem, but rather a faulty power cable and maybe even a user error, according to Microsoft.
That's what I was saying.
They said that they recommend that users facing the problem try a different power cable and also plug the cable directly into a power socket, not into a surge protector.
They come with two power cords.
Yeah. That I don't know.
Try another power cord.
Yeah. Maybe it's similar to the other power cord that you had. I don't know. It seems kind of like a design flaw to me.
That's what I was reading. They said that it doesn't. You can't tell which way to put the plug in. It's like either way, it looks like you can do it.
Kind of like your cell phone, you could possibly plug it in incorrectly.
Right.
Okay.
So that's the problem, and that it doesn't feel like it wants to go all the way in. Mm-hmm. So that could be it, but I don't know.
Well, again, regardless how you do it, if that's the case, it's still a design flaw, because if you look at other console manufacturers, and I know Nintendo is real heavy on it, they design their plugs a very specific way. It'll have a notch in it or a turn or a curve, so there's only one way it's going in.
Mm-hmm. You can't mess that up.
Yeah. So if that's the case, they screwed up. All right. Next story I have is about Call of Duty World War II. The game has claimed the top spot in the Japanese charts, bumping current frontrunner Super Mario Odyssey from its throne where it's been perched since its release. The game had much stronger sales than its predecessor, Infinite Warfare, by about 70%, but fell short of Black Ops 3. All that said, it only managed a third of the sales that Odyssey saw in its first week.
So it only sold about 10 million copies.
Possibly, yeah.
Bless their heart.
I haven't seen that game at all. I haven't seen it streamed or anything, so I'm curious.
Yeah, I don't think I have either.
I haven't seen it streamed a lot either.
I mean, you said it's pretty good, right? You played it a little?
I played the zombies. The zombies are awesome.
That's right. Okay.
Well, you played that a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of fun. I've never been a Call of Duty person, but
so you can't judge the zombies based on Call of Duty.
I'm the same way. I'm with you on that, Steve. But I've only played the zombies ever. I tried to do the other game. I'm like, this is so friggin' boring to me. I don't know. It's boring to me.
Yeah, the
single player campaign.
Or going online and it's like, just hunting people down and shooting them. I don't know. It was always
fun. Like the first few they did, like World at War when they were in World War II, and then Call of Duty 4. Yeah. Those two were fun. After that, no.
I mean, I know I've played a few in the past, but it's never been my cup of tea.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, like, you have those people, they get on there on Call of Duty 4, they stayed on it, and that's the only game they played. So at a certain point, you go, can't play this anymore.
Yeah.
Because
I got to move on.
Yeah. I got to play something else. But then if you go back, it's not even fun because those dudes, they know where every rock is on that map, and they're hiding behind it like this. You don't even see them. You run by them, they just go, pow, kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of reminds me of The Last of Us Factions. Have you ever played that?
Yeah, I have.
I don't think I ever did, but I remember it being on there. I just never got it.
Similar, and I remember playing it, and I was getting so annoyed because the game's been out for a while. Mm-hmm. So the people who have been playing that, they have all the hot items and everything. I was dying left and right. I don't even know how the hell I even friggin' died. And I was like, where does this guy even come from? It got really frustrating.
Yeah, that's why I kind of wish they would have like skill levels that keep you with the people who are still kind of noobs to the people who played it way too much.
Yeah.
So, I'm not. That's why I don't really care for online play all that much.
Call of Duty tries to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Up to a certain point, like up to level 8.
Yeah.
You're put in with all the people that are level 8, and then I guess they figure by that point you've figured out something.
Fair enough.
But I haven't played this one online. It's back to World War II, so it could be good because you don't have all that freaking wall running and shit that they didn't need to put in there.
Yeah. Unnecessary stuff.
Yeah.
They went back to basics.
Like they always said, like for a long time, it's like, we want more modern. We want modern. When they did Modern Warfare, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was the one game. Then they did Modern Warfare 2 that was way more, futuristic, it seemed like. And
with an accused rapist.
Who?
What?
Oh, Kevin Spacey.
That
was advanced. That was Advanced Warfare.
Oh, okay. Excuse me.
I think it was Advanced Warfare.
Either way.
He didn't rape anybody. He came out at the same time.
We're not getting into it. I'm just saying.
Next on Sally Jesse Raphael.
Anyway.
I was thinking of another story, but it's so not like appropriate for the
Well, tell
topic
it.
of this. So
Go ahead.
no, because
No.
Steven's gonna get mad at me.
No. We'll move on. I shouldn't even brought it
every
up.
week.
I shouldn't
Yeah,
brought
but I
it up.
don't like it when Steven's mad at me.
Anyway.
Don't cater to him.
Anyway, next story I have is NetherRealm Studios and Warner Brothers Interactive released a video featuring the next wave of fighters for Injustice 2 and as part of the third Fighter Pack DLC. Now, recent packs have included DC mainstays such as Black Manta, Starfire, and the Red Hood, along with Mortal Kombat favorites Raiden and Sub-Zero. The last Fighter Pack came with a huge surprise with the inclusion of Hellboy, who is now available. I played with
How's
Hellboy
he?
a little bit. He's pretty awesome.
Is he fast or slow?
I wouldn't say tanky, but he can move. He's not a fast character, but he's not one of the slower ones either.
I can't remember the one that I played with that I liked.
He played with we kind of bounced around a little bit.
We
though.
did, but then I found that one that I really felt like when I picked up the Mortal Kombat guys, like Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero, you really did good.
I
with.
was okay with him because I remembered his moves. Then the other ones, it's kind of you have to learn those players.
Yeah, you really do.
I like that. That's what I've always liked about Mortal Kombat is their controls are not hard like Street Fighter, but everybody is different.
Yeah.
So it's like that style, you have to learn it, and and some of them I can't play with.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
not going to.
a few that I struggle with, but some I've actually started to get really good with.
I think Starfire was one of them that I liked.
Yeah, she was pretty good.
Yeah,
I really like Catwoman and Harley Quinn.
Catwoman.
Catwoman
Yeah.
and
I couldn't figure out Harley, her style.
Black Canary. She was another.
Oh my
good
god, I love her.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about her. She
Yeah.
was always super
God,
excited.
like
I'm
her
so
excitement level just went off the chart.
No,
Look,
I'm sorry.
no, you're fine.
they're connecting. You can't do that.
No, she's fine. But no, yeah, she's a good character.
What was I thinking? Oh, the one that I want to like so bad, but I suck so bad at her. Poison Ivy.
Wasn't that? Yeah, she's kind of tricky.
She's so like dainty in
Yeah.
her moves, and I don't know. I just can't like get it down.
It's a learn curve trying to
Yeah.
figure out her moves. I know what you mean though.
I don't think when you get Poison Ivy, you don't fight with her. You just look at her.
That's
Well, like
about
one
all
move where she
is.
does like she blows the kiss,
Yeah.
like the poison kiss.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm like trying to do it, and then I just get my ass handed to me. I'm like, well, this sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Who was the Flash? I picked the
Flash.
Flash. I was like, I bet he's fast. You know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the Flash. And then like I kept doing this thing, and he kept going, like he would just like vibrate. And
I
like,
actually
I'm like,
figured
what
out a
the fuck
good
is he
way to
doing?
use that move. You got to use one of your special bars at the bottom. He'll kind of pull off like a pushing move, like a wind push or something like that. I don't know what the hell you call it, but it pushes everybody off to the other side of the screen.
Yeah, I like that about the game where you do like a certain combination or whatever. And I'm like, I suck at it because I'm not used to the controller. But then you can just like whip somebody into like another realm and beat their ass,
that's
and then you
pretty
pull
cool.
them back in, and you know it's so sick. I love that.
I got beaten to another realm a few times.
But he did good. He's after he learned how to play, and that's what I'll definitely say. It's not like I stomped his ass because he didn't know how to play a good fighting game. He'd never played. There was a learning curve. He picked
Yeah.
it up and he did good.
And what was funny was like I kept thinking Steven's expecting me to quit. 'Cause like,
I kind of did because I was like, "Are you okay?" And I wasn't expecting him to just quit. Like, I'm not playing this game because I've had plenty of people do that. I didn't want him to be bored with it.
Yeah.
But he continued on.
Yep.
So I was happy.
Finally figured it out.
Challenge accepted.
That's right.
Challenge accepted. Good point. Yeah.
Well, anyway, along with these new characters, we're getting DC characters known as the Atom. He's best known to casual fans on
As
the
Blake.
DC's Legends of Tomorrow TV show on the CW.
What's his real name?
Ray Palmer.
Ray, not Blake. I said
Yeah,
Blake.
Ray Palmer. And the other character from
Ray
DC
Palmer.
is the Enchantress. She's best known as the villain in Suicide Squad.
Oh, that's right. I remember seeing that trailer. Now.
Oh yeah, she's cool. Yeah.
But the biggest surprise
This is the best one. You might not like
are
it.
4 more characters emerging. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles will be added to the roster.
What? Why would you say I would not like that?
'Cause
What
you're
the
not
hell's
cool.
wrong with you?
You're not cool.
I freaking love the Ninja
You are
Turtles.
you're
I'm
a
gonna
Boston
ass-
Red Sox fan.
I'm going to
and
assume
Wow.
that they will have kind of costume changes. I won't think it's palette swaps. It's kind of like what they do with some of the other characters where you can, like, Flash and Reverse Flash. Raiden, you can play as Black Lightning and...
Black Lightning.
Black Lightning. Black Lightning!
Wait.
Wait.
Sing the lover song.
Hey, we'll get to that. Hang on a second. We'll
Lovers
get
in
into
a dangerous space and time. Have you
Okay,
heard of
well,
this game?
yeah.
No.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. In a second.
Oh,
Let me
we're
finish
gonna
my
get to it.
story, okay?
Finish your story.
Let me finish my story. Anyway, no release date on when these announcements or when these editions will be announced exactly, but I'm going to assume in the next month or so. I'm actually curious if they're going to reference like a Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle crossover comic they did recently, because I don't know if you've ever, when you play the game with like a Mortal Kombat character and a DC character, they actually reference the DC versus Mortal Kombat game that they did years ago.
Yeah, that was a pretty good game. That's pretty good. I mean, that was before Mortal Kombat really kicked it back up. You know what I mean?
That was before they hit the reset button with
Yeah.
the Mortal Kombat. Well, I guess it was just Mortal Kombat.
But you kind of seen like they took from that game and made it better.
They did.
And went to Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Again, I think
there's just I paid money for it, and it's not bad, but it could be better.
you loved it.
It was all right.
You loved it.
Yeah, it was all right. All right. Well, let's before I go
Okay,
into the
wait.
news.
Lovers in a dangerous space and time. It's just it's a little indie game.
Yes.
You have what's the ship called?
I know there are different names for it, but I can't remember.
Okay, we got a ship and it's got these. Like you got something up here, like a little control dock up here. You got a little seat down here, and one here, and one here. And they all do something different. Like this one might be a rocket launcher that takes care of everything around the ship. This one is something at the
Guns.
bottom. You got guns on the side, but then
Shields.
you have a shield that somebody can control the shield. When you play with 4 people, it's awesome.
Did you ever play We Need to Go Deeper?
No, but I wanted to. So
kinda very-
that's exactly what I was thinking, because
Yeah.
I've seen, some VODs and stuff when you guys were playing it.
Very
so.
similar in that.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry. Hold on. He sings the song
Okay.
while he's playing.
Now, here's what happened. I'm going to, because it got brought up when he was over playing Injustice. That night, I probably had a few too many drinks, and we were playing Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time. It was a group
Oh my
of us.
god, you guys are so cute.
And I was just in my own little world, and we're sitting there trying, because the whole game is about you're collecting these little characters, and it's all about the power of love. So
Yeah.
I just, as I was, a little tipsy, I was just like, it's lovers in a dangerous space time. We're catching and saving everybody with love. Lovers in a dangerous space time. We're gonna save with love.
I love it.
Yeah.
He sang it for 20 minutes.
And then I tried other different verses, and they weren't going anywhere, but at least I got the chorus.
Yeah.
Lovers in a dangerous space time.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah. It was very 70s, 80s.
Yeah, like I felt like
Speaking of which,
what?
I'm sorry to put on a down note. Did y'all hear about Malcolm Young
I did.
What?
from AC/DC? He passed away.
Yep. I heard about
Yeah.
it.
Aw,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring the
You
room
don't
down.
know who he
freaking
is.
downer.
Yeah,
You don't know
I
who
know.
he
wrong with
I'm
you?
sorry.
You don't really know who he is.
I'm really gonna kick his ass.
Yeah, it's okay.
No, you can't say.
So what? All right. Well, were you going to add something real quick?
I don't remember.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to move on to our tidbit.
Wait.
What?
No, I don't
No.
remember.
You don't. All right. Despite all the doom and gloom that we've heard and reported out of Volition over the last couple of months, the meager
The Meezer. Those Meezers.
meager success of Agents of Mayhem, they actually had an announcement trailer that was released showcasing a brand new character being added to the game, Kinsey Kensington, who is the
Kensington.
Kinsey Kensington,
Muffy.
who was the
Kinsey.
resident hacker in Saints Row, is joining the crew, but nothing more than that has been revealed. I still want to play the game, but I just feel like
you'd probably like it.
I'm pretty sure I would. I'm still disappointed because I love Saints Row 3 and 4 because I liked being the boss,
And Gats out of
because he was me. In that manner, he was the character that I wanted me to be. Mm-hmm. So when I would look at that character, I'm like, that's me. So when they called me the boss, I'm like, hell yeah.
That's me.
That's
and
me.
then all of a sudden you bust out, "Love us in a dangerous space."
Only bosses can truly sing that song.
But did you ever play Saints Row 4?
No. No, yeah. A little.
Did you ever play it?
no.
Okay, something that they did in that game, which I give them balls for. That
You give them balls for it.
They had balls. I give them credit for doing it because I didn't know how it worked. Yes, I'm sorry. I'll leave it in, you bastards.
Hey, we'll give them some balls.
We'll give them some balls. They had balls for doing it. I give them credit for doing it.
Give him more balls.
There was a kind of a, what would you call it? I guess a relationship system in the game where you could talk to some of your teammates, and then you could kind of strike up a relationship with them. So, you know, it went around, there was a chick, and you'd be like, hey, how you doing? And you just talk to them, and the next thing you know, you could talk them into hitting the sack.
Getting
and
it on.
like, yeah.
Wow.
But you could also do that to guys.
I'm going
and
to
I was
do
like,
that to you.
oh, okay. And I jumped on a guy, and I was like, that was awkward. but
Awesome.
Awesome.
But you had to do it though.
Yeah, I did. At some point,
Yeah.
I was like, you know what?
I have
The boss
to
is
try this.
the boss is by. He's going all in.
I'm going to walk up to you at work and just going, hey.
Hey,
I'm going to start hitting you like
Tap
that.
him
Hey.
on the
What do you
butt.
say to him?
yeah, I don't remember. It's
Hey.
just.
Hey,
It
how's
was
it going?
essentially
Yeah.
something in that vein. It's like, hey, do you want to screw? Depending on who you're talking to, it was like, hell yeah.
Hi, nice to meet you.
And when you
Phil.
had to do that to Keith David, the actual actor, that was
Yeah.
just, that was.
What did he do? What did he say?
He's like, well, I don't know if I can take y'all on, but all right then. You know his voice. It's very similar to that.
You know, I
didn't do
met
it
him. I
justice.
met him in Knoxville at because he's an alumni of Tennessee. Mm-hmm. And no, wait, no. Are you talking about
Keith David.
Huh?
Big,
Black guy.
yeah.
I'm
deep
taking
voice.
a David Keith.
Yeah, there's the.
No, I'm backwards.
I know that always screwed me up.
Yeah.
Two guys. But yeah, I don't. I guess it's a neat little addition to the game, but at this point, it's kind of like, okay, good for
I
you.
think you should play it because you like.
I
the
do
other
want to
ones.
play it though. I'm waiting for the deal, and I shouldn't because that's why they're
Maybe
under now. They're
you'll
laying
get it for
people off because
Christmas?
of me because I didn't buy the game.
Maybe you'll get it for Christmas.
Maybe we'll see.
Santa.
Next story that I have is this week Disney cut ties with Gazillion Entertainment, thereby shutting down the servers for the MMO Marvel Heroes, which will officially go down on December 31st of this year. Disney issued a statement saying, we regret to inform our Marvel Hero fans that we have ended our relationship with Gazillion and that Marvel Heroes game will shut down. We would like to sincerely thank players who joined the Marvel Heroes community and will provide further updates as they become available. The game was released in 2013 on PC, with recent ports to consoles actually happening earlier this year. No word yet as to what led to this end, but a few reports mention layoffs that are coming to the studio, and even that it's no fault of the people who actually work there, that they sacrifice their time and health to pull 80-hour work weeks for things like a patch, which is insane.
That is insane.
But, you know, good luck to those people. I hate that it's happened, but again, there's not been really any word as to why that happened, so that sucks.
Disney,
But I never played it, so
I will say
either.
this about Disney: they will pull the plug so fast.
Because they can though.
Yeah, they can.
and
Yeah.
That's why they're Disney.
a lot of the rumors kind of floated to that, almost like they, you know, these people were working their asses off to try and keep this game up and running, and they were starting to miss deadlines. And a lot of that alludes to Disney just being, well, you're not meeting your deadline, so screw it, you're done.
Right.
So, but again, I'm just saying that it's not a fact. Just you can kind of put two and two together on a few things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why it is, but you go look at like live action movies.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel kills DC in those. You can go to cartoons. DC kills Marvel in those, except for that one Avengers series that they canceled. The only good thing that they had.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to games, and Marvel never can keep up in that area either.
Yeah,
It seems like.
there's a few decent titles, but they're hard to come by.
Right, but look at DC Universe Online.
Yeah,
That
that's
thing's
been
still
going.
going strong, dude.
Mhm.
I mean, it's crazy how there's a big community there,
Well,
and
you
you
know-
would think like Marvel Heroes, something like that. You just put Marvel people, you copy the shit, copy and paste Spider-Man instead of Green Lantern. You know,
But you know, now that you kind of mentioned that, it kind of makes me wonder if Disney's not trying to pull something bigger. I don't know if y'all heard
are.
where they're trying to start their own Netflix type
I was just going to
service.
say
Yes.
that because they're probably, well, you know, we can probably make more money off this weird Disney. We have a
See-
known brand.
Yeah.
So,
And
and,
that- I mean-
everybody will go to it.
They're already, I mean, just based on that alone, when they announced that, they were already like, we can offer it cheaper. Look at all we've got. Look at our movies. We can take the Marvel stuff with us. We can take, you know, Star Wars with us. All this stuff is coming with us. You know you want to come over here, and it's going to be cheaper than Netflix.
what's that going to do to Netflix? Is Netflix gonna? Do they have to give up Punisher and Daredevil?
As far as the deal goes, I don't know when. I know that they said they're cutting ties with them either in the end of next year or 2019. That's when they'll officially end, and then Disney can move on to their stuff. Now, as far as their ownership of the shows that they currently have, I don't know, because technically they would kind of be under the Netflix original brand, but they are still owned and produced by Disney, but to what degree, I don't know. Because Netflix could just be the platform. If it's just nothing more than the platform, they can be like, we're taking it over here.
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to make some like type of like exceptions.
It's quite possible because I mean, currently right now they have shows bounced all around. You've got stuff on ABC, you've got stuff on Netflix, you've even got a new show coming out on Hulu. So, and there's what's that other stupid channel, Freeform. They've got shows that are starting to come up on that. I know I called it stupid. I've never watched it. I'm spitballing.
You know, they could leave it. They could leave Daredevil
for now.
If they're smart, they will just leave it there. You know what I mean?
Now, I think they probably will, but at some point, you know, they're going to want to be like, let's get it over here.
Yeah,
whatever we can do.
What are they going to do with the characters? Are they going to leave them the same as they are? Because if you don't, you are stupid.
I think they will because right now the brands are still hot as they are.
So good.
So if they were to change anything, it would be a bad move on their part. Unlike what they did with, you know, like you said, the Avengers cartoon, which is...
the only thing they did there, they just wanted the people to look like the counterpart on the movies, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's exactly what it was.
That, and they wanted to get into the more of the Infinity War story, I think, because it seemed like all of a sudden you seen Thanos. You didn't see him at all on the other thing.
No.
I think they were working that way, though.
They always are. I mean, they're trying to... Did you... While we're on the subject of Disney right now, did you hear the other rumor that came out? What they were trying to acquire over the last week. They were trying to acquire a lot of properties from 21st Century Fox.
One of them was X-Men.
One of them was X-Men. Another was any other kind of Star Wars properties that they may still have holds on. They were trying to get that out from under them.
I wish they would get them, dude.
You know, it was one of those times I was kind of hoping they would have achieved that, but I think once the rumor got out, it was just like, nope, we're not going to do this, nope. So
look, man, to me, Fox has made their money on X-Men. You're not going to make any more money than you've already made. You're going to probably lose money from now on. You've lost Wolverine. You've lost Patrick Stewart. I mean, I guess you still have James McAvoy, and he's a good.
But
he's
for
good
how
treasure.
long?
Yeah, exactly. So eventually they're going to start losing money, and then you're not going to make nearly as much money selling your, license as you would. So to me, it's stupid for them to keep holding on to it.
If anything, they should have done is given back the Fantastic Four. At least that I would have been happy with.
No, they had to make that shitty reboot.
Well, they could have just given that, at least made them a profit in some way. So like, here, just take this back and we'll keep the X-Men and we'll be fine.
I was just glad they sold Daredevil, and if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Punisher one of them they sold back to?
Well, Punisher was under Lionsgate.
Okay, but at least Daredevil, because he's one of my favorite comics. I mean, like, I love his character, and then you had Ben Affleck screw that up.
I think there's a Punisher series coming out on Netflix.
It's out now.
It is out. Oh,
yesterday.
yeah. Oh, yeah, it was on Friday. See, why do I keep getting so excited today?
It's okay.
Oh, yeah.
You did better that time.
Be excited.
You did better that time. We need a little excitement.
That looks
Excited.
awesome.
Yes, it does.
It does. I love John Bernthal. I've seen him. I watched him in, what was it, Gangland, or that show that was on TBS, I think?
I think, yeah.
It was something Gang something. He was awesome in that. He was great in, what's that, the movie with the tank with Brad Pitt. What is that? Fury.
Yep.
Awesome in that movie, dude. He was so, you wouldn't think of him as Shane anymore. That's one of those guys that he can just keep rolling right along on these characters that he plays, and you forget that he was Shane, even though that's where I knew him from.
Yeah, he was another one talking about Kevin Spacey, but I'm not going to go there.
What'd he say? What'd he say?
he apparently he was in Baby Driver, both of them.
Yeah.
And he said that he was
Did he try to grab his wall?
No, he said he was kind of a jerk, like he was a priss, like bullying everyone around and stuff. So.
Oh, I can totally say that. I want jelly beans in my locker room. I mean, sorry, not locker room. Dressing room. I want black jelly beans, red licorice.
Is that your best Kevin Spacey?
No, I'm just saying he got prissy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. Well, we've really trailed off. I'm going to get back to the news.
Where did we trail off to? I thought
this is a nice segue into this because this is in that same vein. But this is a rumor.
Prissiness?
No, movies. Where we're kind of talking about movies. This is a rumor now. Okay, I'm just saying it's not an official thing. It's
but
rumor.
If it is, we broke it here first.
That's right.
We're continuing to spread this rumor by doing this.
Yes,
a little bit. But hey, the Wall Street Journal started it. But that's why it's a rumor, and that's why I'm keeping it that way.
Just get to it. I'm so excited.
Everyone's favorite plumber.
Oh, I heard about
may
this.
grace the silver screen again. Only this time in animated form.
It's Roto-Rooter, the sequel.
Yes. Fix It Felix.
Fix It Felix instead of Wreck-It Ralph.
Apparently, there's a deal in the works between Nintendo, Universal, and Illumination Entertainment, the company behind the Despicable Me series, to bring Mario and Luigi back to the screen. Some may remember the live-action version of Super Mario Bros. It came out in 1993, featuring Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo as Mario and Luigi, respectively. Both actors have actually spoken out negatively about this film, Hoskins even stating that it's the worst thing he's ever done.
It is. They screwed that up so bad.
The movie was a huge flop, only recouping about half of its budget in theaters and even ruined the careers of its first-time directors.
Well, I have a question. I'm sorry. I feel
No.
teenagers are all because
She's
of
raising
me.
her hand.
No. Ask away.
Oh God, now I forgot. What the hell?
It's about Super Mario Brothers, the movie.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So flop. Now, while they're doing this movie. And they're acting and everything. Are they realizing, like, oh my God, this is probably a mistake. This is going to be a huge flop as they're recording it?
From reports that I've heard, from stories from John Leguizamo specifically, stated that there was a point where they were just like, this is not going well. Said they actually had to get drunk sometimes just to like get out there and just push through it. Like, this is going to be terrible.
You're like, man, there ain't no green warp zone. Where's the warp zone at?
Yeah.
And like when you know it's going to be terrible, you kind of lose that motivation. You
Yeah.
know?
And I mean, there are a lot of stories where you hear actors where they just, at some point, they know, and it's just like, we shouldn't be doing this. I've heard stories from, have you ever heard of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sean Connery.
I love him.
He actually passed up 2 huge movies,
For
The
this
Matrix and...
Would he have been Morpheus, you think?
Probably. These were, big budget movies that had huge successes. I can't remember what the other one was, but he passed them up to be in this, thinking it was going to be something great. And then apparently when he got the final script, it was like, oh shit. So he just phoned it in the entire time. Like,
that
this
movie
is,
seems like this be something totally up my alley, would bore the living crap out of me.
It did.
The book.
There was parts that were good, though.
the book that it's based on was phenomenal. That's the Alan Moore is the writer of it. He did stuff like Watchmen. He did a run on Swamp Thing, which was fantastic. He's a fantastic writer, but Hollywood has botched his shit. That being the worst offender, because they didn't want to do what he did in the books. He went raw. He went and did things that it would have been R-rated and then some. And this was at a time where R-rated comic book movies were just like, no, we can't do that. Today, I think someone would actually have the balls to do it right.
You would
Given
give
the
them balls.
opportunity. Yes. I would give them balls.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it'll ever. I don't
Steven
think
is
it'll.
now the official ball giver.
I'm giving balls all around.
Yeah. Ball boy.
But anyway, I don't know if you guys know this, but the movie has kind of amassed a cult following over the years. I will say, and I know you're
I
probably
think
going
we talked about this.
I have a soft spot for it, a little, because I don't know. It's if you can just get past the idea that it's Super Mario Brothers. It's not a bad movie, but you're always that idea, the concept of what it's supposed to be, is always looming over, and you're just like, God, why did you do that? Why did you do that? Stop. But if you took that out of it, it might just be kind of a fun little adventure movie.
They should have called it Brothers Mario.
But being what it is, and the fact that it's Mario, and Luigi Mario as their names, come on.
Yeah.
That's the best you could do. While I'm talking, let me get through this, and I'll you know what I'm going to talk about. Again, take this with a grain of salt.
Okay, this new rumor though, is it going to be?
Well, like I said, that's what I'm pointing out right here. Take it with a grain of salt, because the Wall Street Journal was also the ones responsible for saying that there was going to be a Legend of Zelda Netflix series that never happened.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Did the Witcher series come out? Witcher series came out.
There is a Witcher series in the works, supposedly.
It's in the
What?
work.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
So for Netflix, supposedly.
Until
But I have not heard
Disney
anything
buys
beyond
it.
it.
Wait, wasn't there like speculation about The Last of Us becoming a movie?
Yeah. Sam Raimi was attached, but where that's gone, I have no idea.
It's still in hiatus.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
Man, I would
in.
love that.
Arya from Game of Thrones.
She's been
She was
pushing
supposed to be Ellie.
Yeah.
What? Oh, she'd make a great
I'd
Ellie.
say
almost
if
too old now, to me.
I'd say if the New Mutants that she's going to be in does well, it might actually push that forward a little bit. If she's still interested
That looks
in doing
good.
it.
I like
Yeah,
that.
it should be awesome.
Have you seen the previews for New Mutants? It looks like a horror movie.
I'll show you that later.
Okay.
That's pretty awesome.
You don't have to raise your hand to ask a question.
But
I do.
But while we're on the subject of the Super Mario movie, I've told him before, and I'll tell you and the rest of our audience, I have an idea on how to make this movie.
Disney, call us. Oh, wait,
Okay.
no, Disney don't have it.
Now, and I mean
Nintendo.
this in a live action sense. If they're going to do animated, then they can do whatever they want.
They need to do
I understand that it's going to be kid fare, whatever, and that's fine. But you can at that point just say, screw all the reality that you have to put into it, and we'll just do this. So my take on it has always been try to understand it from a realistic perspective, at least from the start. I mean, they're New York plumbers, whatever. You kind of play with that, but play also on the ideas that and the tropes that they've kind of put in the video games. So Mario would be a working plumber. He's struggling to try and keep his bills paid. He's trying to do a normal guy, you know.
It sounds like a real friend that I have. Actually,
He's just trying to make do in life. You know, that's what he's trying to do. And I even thought it would be nice to have little Easter eggs that maybe you see his trophies from high school or in college, where he's like, you know, star baseball player and star, you know, go-kart rider or something like that. Just little winks and nods to be
I
like,
don't know
oh,
if they have go-kart teams in high school.
probably not. I don't know, but you know what I mean. Just where he's always played sports and stuff like that. You just put those
He's a
little winks
retired
and nods in
referee.
there. Right. His girlfriend, who he's having a falling out with, would be Pauline from Donkey Kong, and she is a zookeeper who's taking care of a giant ape
Named Donkey Kong.
named Donkey. And you could play that off, and she's like, no, I just, you know, things are hard. I got to take care of him. And he's like, okay, well, and then his life seems to be like it's falling apart. On the flip side, Luigi is a paranoid, frantic, you know, person who's in therapy, who's afraid of everything. So that's your comedy element, but it's also your dramatic element too. Because Mario's having to take care of this spastic brother of his. He's having to pay the bills because he can't function in life. You know, he's always anxious. He's always scared. So what does he have to do? You know, what is he trying to do? What is he trying to achieve? So he's trying to do all this while trying to get his brother to live a normal life. And then at some point, and this is where it kind of gets muddy for me, is trying to figure out how to get them to point A to point B, which is to the Mushroom Kingdom. You do that, and then it becomes their journey. The story is about the brothers. It's not about, I mean, obviously they have to go to the Mushroom Kingdom and save it and whatever, and that whole gets into a whole thing. But the story itself has to be about the two of them. I want them to have a falling out at some point to where they have to understand they have to come back together. They have to work together. It's all about them. You know, if you don't make this about the brothers themselves, their story, it's not going to work.
Right.
That's my take on it. I think it would be a good story
I
if
would
I had
watch
the,
it.
I had
would
the
watch it.
ability to sit down and really write it out. Because
He
once
sucked me in right away, which is, you know, like hard to do.
Oh, no.
but I would also love to play around with the ideas of, you know, the mushroom eating and stuff like that. Maybe like, you know, the toads are just little mushroom people. Like, dude, what are we on?
What if, this is just what I'm thinking, because Luigi's like all messed up in his head. Maybe he needs to eat the magic mushrooms to calm him down, and
That
he
would be
can
hilarious.
be in like his trip or whatever could be like everybody's normal.
Yeah. And see, that little reference like that, something like that, I feel like that's where Nintendo would be like, because you're advocating drug use. It's like, no.
Well, don't put in those type
Just,
words.
it's a joke.
magical.
Come on. Everybody makes that joke about the mushrooms and stuff like that for Mario.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a subtle little thing. Come on.
And then they eat the pot plant to get firepower.
Yeah.
You know, like, why did they never do that in the original? Like, they never had any kind of anything like that.
They had the jump boots. You remember that?
Yeah, the damn boot.
Yeah. So he could jump high.
Thorn?
They're trying to figure out the mechanics of how to make it realistic.
You don't need that.
But see, again, the Power Star, that would be the main thing that they're after. They're trying to achieve the Power Star and save the Mushroom Kingdom from Bowser.
Yeah, and the one big thing they put in the game, I mean, in that movie that was just like the game, the bomb. That was it.
Yeah.
Let's throw that in there.
But see, a lot of that stuff in the Mushroom Kingdom could also be metaphors for a lot. You know, you could almost think that they are dreaming this entire thing. That's where you really need to kind of play the subtlety of everything in the story revolving around them and everything around them on the outside to really kind of placate their relationship with each other.
Right.
Again, it's too smart for Nintendo. I love you, Nintendo, kind of. So, you know what I mean.
You used to.
I'm gonna just trail off and just...
All right. Well, anyway, we kind of rambled on that. All right. Last story I've got is the Capcom Pro Tour North America Finals at the Red Bull Battlegrounds took place at the Castle in Boston. Actually, today, and tomorrow, which is
Ooh.
November 18th and 19th. This competition has gone from a local arcade meetup to a full-fledged event where players can compete to see who will be crowned the best of the best in Street Fighter. More specifically, Street Fighter V.
I thought you said in a street fight. I'm like, they're going to fight?
No. They're going to play Street Fight.
Gotcha. Street Fighter.
Now, with numerous iterations of the game, Part 2 being the worst vendor in my opinion. How many Street Fighter 2 games did we have? Turbo, Super Turbo, Mega, Super.
God, didn't we have like a 0?
Yeah, there was a lot of just that one game, just with new characters and new backgrounds, whatever. The advancement of technology evolving, Capcom has developed a way for players to actually get into the game like never before via VR. Now, playable on the HTC Vive at this event tomorrow. Get your hands off me. The players will be thrust into the iconic bonus stage where you must destroy a car as much and as quickly as possible. Obviously, players will want this for home consumption, but no word as of yet.
Wait, so this is Street Fighter VR?
Yeah. Well, just the bonus stage where you punch the car and try to get as many points as you can within the time frame.
I think that would be an awesome idea to have the whole game VR and then co-op.
I think this is probably like a test to see how that
Something
works.
like that,
because I would love to see how that looks in VR. So are you looking at the car long ways? Or are you looking at it from the side?
In my brain,
You know what I mean?
for some reason, I'm looking at it from the side. But
Because I guess in the game, the car is kind of catty-cornered and you're kind of standing at it from an angle. So how are you viewing it through VR? Is it from that angle, like you would literally be there as one of the players and you're seeing it from that? Or are you just seeing this car sitting there a long ways in an awkward position? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
So I would really love to see what this looks like from that perspective.
Yeah.
And I've actually started to notice, and I don't know if you guys have, a lot of the times that we're talking about VR advancements here lately, the HTC Vive seems to be the one that everybody seems to go to. I've noticed a lot of...
That's like bugo dollars, though.
Probably.
But I heard
It's
it is
the
the
cheaper.
best.
It's the cheaper of them and Oculus. Oculus is the most expensive, right?
Is it? I heard the Vive was more expensive, and I heard the
remember.
Vive was better. And
Vive-
this is coming from my friend who's a huge techie. Too.
The fact that a lot of these things seem to float to the Vive, I'm going to assume it's got to be the better of the two if this seems to be the trend. Because every time I seem to bring it up anymore, the Vive is the one that seems to get all the good stuff.
It
Like cow milking.
It might be the more adopted
Could be.
PC one. You know, it might not be the most expensive because I thought Oculus was more expensive.
It could be. I'd have to
remember
look
now.
up stats on that.
I'm going to do that right now.
Good. That'll allow me to move on.
Move
to weird news.
There was a lot of sorry.
Oh, she's
just
backing
gonna
it up.
jump
Oh,
right
no.
in.
No, go ahead.
Interruption. At TwitchCon, they had a lot of. I don't know if you saw them, but a lot of the VR setups. And I saw Oculus, but I didn't see anybody using it, so I don't know if it was just like a display and they
Right.
can talk about it, advertise it.
See, I wanted to try one of those, but I never had the opportunity
I
or
watched
time to do
Appleb
that.
do it.
Did you?
Yeah, he
Okay.
was playing super hot.
Yes.
Yeah.
God, that game
Cannot
is
wait.
so crazy.
try
So
that.
it looked cool.
It
looked cool.
is the I've said it numerous times on the show before. It's the best VR game I have ever played. It's what it's made for. Because the experience you have is just it's phenomenal.
It looks awesome. I've never played the game ever. I've watched Appleb play it.
Yeah.
It looks super fun.
Because it's super
But-
hot.
It's all super. But I don't know. I'm trying to remember because he definitely was not using the Oculus. It was all black. So I don't know if that's the Vive.
I'm not sure. I'd have to look up
Well,
what
the
they look
Vive,
like.
here's the Vive. Where'd it go? There's the Vive. It's black. Oculus is all black.
They're looking it up on the phone.
Yeah. It was all. That might be it then, because that's what Appleb looked like he was wearing. So.
Well, just the used headset for the Oculus is $315. Now the whole set with the sensors and everything and the hand things for the Vive is $599.
Now,
$100 more
the
than
hand things, do they have like a round...
looks like that. I think Lacia was playing them.
Yeah, let me see
in
that.
video.
Look, let me see.
The one she had kind of had...
The round things. on
Yeah,
the
it was
end.
like all around the hand,
yeah,
wasn't it?
That's how
yeah,
that one
that's
kinda
what.
does.
Yeah.
But
that's what it kinda
that
looks
would
like.
have
got
to
a
make
little
it
trigger.
more...
I mean, it looks like a Move controller.
Okay.
Is what it looks like, except it don't look like a big sex toy.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to move on to weird news if we're done with VR.
Wait, are you good?
No, we're good. We're good.
Okay.
Wait,
we can move on.
Okay.
Weird news.
Weird news.
An independent studio on Thursday announced that it's going to have a new title that parodies the idea of loot boxes in games. Developer Mutant Entertainment Studios said that the whole loot box craze hasn't gone far enough, bringing forward its title, I Can't Believe It's Not Gambling.
That as in, like, I can't believe it's not butter?
Yeah, that's the name of the game. I Can't Believe It's Not Gaming. It has a straightforward premise. You open loot boxes. According to Mutant Studios, the entire idea of building a title around opening loot boxes is to unlock better loot boxes, of course.
Yeah.
Players are unable to unlock new skins and hats for their loot box loadout in the title. The game is purely for parody. There's no actual microtransactions within the game, only genuine progression. So side effects of I Can't Believe It's Not Gambling include mild amusement, breathing slightly more air out of your nose, chuckling under your breath, nodding with that sort of half smile when you don't want to laugh at a joke, but recognize it was a pretty decent joke and need to acknowledge it, minor shame, and reduce money.
From just buying the game.
Yeah. I Can't Believe It's Not Gambling will be available on November 29th on the PC.
Why does the PC get everything?
Because it's an easy. I'm actually going to
Master
bring
race,
that.
baby.
I'm actually going
Master
to
race.
bring that up in just a moment. Last little bit of weird news, and this is like something I wrote in last minute because I remember hearing about it and I forgot about it until now. But it was just, it's weird enough, and it got so much flack, and I saw a video for it. Did you hear about the talking Pikachu?
No, wait, yeah. Like, I heard something about it.
Okay, there's a new movie that came out, a Pokemon movie, and it's supposed to be like a rehash of the first season of the show, but it retells it within movie form. In the movie, and if anyone's aware of Pikachu, all he does is go, Pikachu, Pikachu. Mm-hmm. That's it. Well, apparently in this movie, there's a scene where he talks, and it blew everyone's mind. And I'm not saying in a good way, because I watched this video, and there was a scene, and I guess he was like on his deathbed or something like that, and Ash is like, Pikachu, why won't you go in your ball? And he looks at him and says, because I want to be with you. And everybody in the theater went, what the hell?
No, it would have been awesome, though, if they went completely different. Instead of, like, the cute little voice, it's like, I want to be with you.
That would be Ash, baby.
He's like, all cute, like, Pikachu. And it's like...
That sounds like her stream.
Right.
Welcome to the Wicked Community. Oh, Jonesy. I love you so much, Jonesy. Oh,
Shut
baby. Devil horns in the heart. Like that.
Now, if anybody wants to hear this, maybe I can put it in, or just go up on YouTube and no, I'm talking about the Pikachu.
I know, but she just
go look it up.
Deserves it.
No, I did read that, and people were
go
losing their
seriously
shit.
look it up on YouTube because it's just
again,
it's bizarre because you're like, okay, when did this happen? But whatever, it's their movie. I'm not going to watch it. So whatever.
Maybe it's just.
I wouldn't watch it either because I just don't even. I'm not into it.
I don't care.
I don't even like
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
No. I mean, it's a fun game, but
No, I used to sit there and watch him play Pokemon Go at lunch and make fun of him.
I barely played it.
No, he didn't.
Not as much as some people. I tried it out because it was the big thing, and I was like, all right, let me see what the fuss is.
Oh my god. Well, I
Did
played
you
it
play
once. One time. Don't you judge me.
Oh, I did.
But my friends, I had so much peer pressure, and they're not gamers. I'm like, oh, you know, like,
same thing
all right,
to me.
maybe I can like relate with them, and they'll be into it or whatever. But I just got so bored with it, and it was annoying, and I'm like, it's sucking up too much data. And then like some of the issues with it, like people like getting attacked because of a hotspot, and especially like Pokemon or whatever. But in my city, there's if you were like driving around this the rotary, and a lot of people collect to it, and there's just tons of teenagers because it was like a hotspot for getting freaking whatever the hell they are.
Yeah.
The things,
The
the
Pokemons.
little critters, the Pokemons.
Yeah. Okay, like funny story about that. You know, you have them in every town. Like, oh, right here, every day, this is like a Pokemon spot, right? The Square in Lebanon has 3 of them, and Heath, the guy that plays Toe on Man Cave, he can't be anywhere on time, but his ass will be down there at 5 a.m. catching damn Pikachu,
At least he had a goal.
and then he go to work. I was late to work today. Why? I had to catch Pikachu. Pikachu ran from me.
Well, he had a goal in mind, and he set his mind to it. Good for him. He had to catch Pikachu.
Like, he was playing at my house.
Did he catch Pikachu? Did he catch him all?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Did he?
I don't know. Hell, I don't know.
Well,
Probably lost his phone.
probably.
But I think that's another game with microtransactions. Wasn't
Yeah,
it? Yeah.
I think you had to buy Pokeballs and stuff like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
because it was either that or you had to travel to one of these hotspots and collect from that. And if you don't, if you're out, well, then you're screwed unless you buy
Yep.
down below.
See, I hate that. That's
Yeah.
the one microtransaction that I can't stand. Is like I can't.
But
play
that's
the
how they
game.
get you. You get these people who are obsessed, and they'll be like, "I gotta get this thing right now. What do I do? I gotta buy this
Especially
ball."
when your friends have them too, so it really makes you want to. So.
You know, it's kind of like Eddie Murphy talking about the hamburgers.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that thing? My mama made it.
mama made it.
You
Don't
all
need
your
no
friends
McDonald's. I
play.
make McDonald's at home.
Give me them green onions.
There ain't no green onions on McDonald's.
Got no green onion on McDonald's burger?
What is that? The house burger. All right, well, I'm going to move on to release dates. This is the comment I had to make. I was looking up, again, still trying to find the right balance to talk about release dates. I found a site that I thought was perfect. And I went through each console to see what was coming out, to make sure that they all lined up, to make sure I had a comprehensive list. I got to PC. My God, 2 pages full of games.
Told you. Half of them
2
junk.
page. And I would love to go through them all. But just for this next week, so many games. And I was like, I can't. It's going to take 2 pages here just to announce them all. So I'm sorry to PC gamers, but you're going to have to keep up with that.
You should
I
just hit the
can't.
big ones.
Well, I mean, there are a few on here that kind of fall under that, but just some of the other, I don't know what they are. I guess they have to be that freeware or the real small ones. And I don't want to diss any kind of indie developers out there. I'm sure that's what these are, but
Kind of like the game with Fallout 4, but it was
The Fallout Shelter.
yeah.
yeah, it's just oh god, there's so many.
Was that on PC? I thought that was on handheld.
It's on PC. It's actually on
Yeah.
this PC,
Oh
but I
my
don't. I
God,
don't play
did
it.
you play
I
it?
downloaded, but
I
I
have
never
played
played it. Played it.
Did you like Fallout 4?
I did.
Did you say played it?
I did say
She
played
did.
it.
Played it. But I
Damn.
played Fallout Shelter, and it was fun for a while, and then I was like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah. I heard it was pretty cool.
Yeah. You just it gets to a point where there's nothing more to do, and you're just like, I'm done.
But you
All right.
played the hell out of Pokemon Go.
Not as much as some people. I did not.
Steven
I did not
Fitzgerald
cross a
White.
highway to go catch a Pokemon like those some people did.
Why did Leonard get run over?
Yeah, he's trying to catch a
He went over
Poliwag.
I-40 trying to catch Charizard.
All right. Well, release dates on November 21st. We have Monster of the Deep, which is a Final Fantasy 15 game for PSVR. Gear Club for Switch. World of Final Fantasy for PC. Planet of the Apes: The Last Frontier for PS4, which I'm looking forward to. The Inpatient for PSVR, which I'm also looking forward to. Yep. River City Rival Showdown, which is for 3DS, which I think, either one of you remember River City Ransom?
Yes,
was an
I
old
believe you
NES
can get
game.
it
It
on-
was
I
like
think
a-
you can get it on a PlayStation.
Can you?
I think so. For some
I'm
reason, I
kind of
remember.
curious if this is, because River City, obviously, that's where it kind of red flagged it for me. That was a fun game. It was like a little beat 'em up.
Kind of like a Double Dragon.
Yeah,
Okay.
in that vein. I think it even had like an XP system or something like that, but I don't remember. It's been a while since I played it, but I remember playing it a lot. Apollo Justice Ace Attorney for 3DS. Very fun series if you've never played Ace Attorney. I love it. Super Beat X Sonic or Zonic. I don't know what that is. Switch. For the Nintendo Switch. And MXGP3, the official motocross video game for the Nintendo Switch. Woo.
You read that one better than you read any of the
I
other
did.
ones. You're
I'm
more
sorry,
excited
but it was
about
just it was a bunch of letters, so it was easy. On November 22nd, we have the first DLC for Assassin's Creed Origins: Trials of the Gods for PS4, Xbox One X, and PC. And November 23rd, Stick It to the Man for Nintendo Switch. That was actually a pretty fun game. I remember that. It was on PlayStation.
Yeah, it had the thing in your brain.
Yeah.
The hand came out.
Did you ever play that? You got to check it out. It's pretty fun.
Is it on PC?
I would assume so.
I hope not. I hope you didn't play it.
I'm sure it's on PC. Look it
I'll
up.
look for
Stick
it.
It to the Man. It's an interesting game.
Oh shoot, my phone's over there.
We'll look it up later. It's fine. All right.
No, I was gonna put it on my to-do list.
Oh, okay.
'cause I
Well,
forget.
I'll remind you.
Oh my God. Can you
Now-
not just remember.
Finally, we're at our retro
God.
review.
Why are you being so hostile?
Because he can be.
Like, you know, like the last time on the podcast, y'all teamed up on me.
Did we?
Yeah.
Double teamed him?
Oh well, sometimes people deserve that shit. So
That's right.
I give y'all balls for doing it.
I will give you all the balls.
No. Only Steven can give the balls.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm giving Steven the balls this time.
And I'm going to give them back to you tenfold.
Thank you.
Floppy.
No, balls are not floppy.
Some can be.
The sack that you put them in
Deflated
can be floppy.
balls.
All right, well, we're going to move on to our retro review.
I got deflated balls.
Do you want to know what our retro review is?
Huh?
Our retro review.
Every week I want to know the damn
Because
retro
sometimes
review.
we don't do a retro review, we do a real review. I could have done a review on Crumple if I had the time, but I kind of did that earlier.
You did kind of do it.
So
we're doing both. But what is the retro review? Please say Double Dragon.
No.
Damn it. We need to do Double Dragon sometime.
No. Our retro review is since the 8-Bit Adventure Classic Collection came out recently, and I just had to jump on that. I felt it was time to revisit one of the old classics that were in the game.
Gunsmoke.
One of the games that always stuck with me the most.
What is it?
Shadowgate.
Oh, yeah. I remember it.
Never played it.
Yep.
Okay.
Got the demon on the front.
Maybe I can convince you to check it out. All right.
You want to get your to-do list?
Because I'm already hearing the music in my head already, and it's beautiful.
It is so beautiful.
it
I can
is.
hear it.
It's
Look, you
wonderful.
hear it. It's right there.
No, it's already playing.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's back there.
Yeah, it's back there in the back. Now, the game was a point and click, or is a point and click style adventure game that was developed and released in 1987 originally for the Apple Macintosh by ICOM Simulations for their Mac Adventure titles, and then it was eventually ported by Kimco Seika, which I'm hoping I'm saying that right, for the Nintendo. At the beginning of the game, you find yourself in front of a castle, and you're greeted with the text to begin your tale. Now, how would you like me to read this? Because this is that opportunity where I can read this in a voice.
Oh, can I choose? Can I pick?
Let's talk about this.
All right. Yes, totally.
Sean,
Do
we're going to
it.
go with Sean Connery.
All right. Let me see if I can find my Sean Connery. Is that,
Wait.
Nope.
No, what the?
Okay.
No. No, I remember Sean Connery.
Okay, well, let's see. Let's hear Gambit, and then we're going to pick. Do
Oh,
Gambit.
Gambit?
Yeah, do Gambit's voice.
I don't know my Cajun that good there. I don't really know if it fit this.
We're going with Sean Connery, Bob.
Sean Connery. All right, so if
Always go with your first gut feeling. Okay.
for doing Sean Connery, I've got to find. Are we going to real deep Scottish? With
Deep
Sean?
Scottish.
Deep Scottish.
Go for it.
All right. The last thing you remember is standing before the wizard Lockmere as he gestured wildly and chanted in archaic tongue. Now you find yourself staring at the entryway which lies upon the edge of the forest. The druid's words still ring in your ears. Within these walls of Castle Shadowgate lies your quest. If the prophecies hold true, the dreaded Warlock Lord will use his dark magic to raise the behemoth, the deadliest of the Titans. From the depths of the earth, you are the seed of prophecy, the last of the line of kings, and the only one to stop the Warlock Lord from darkening our world forever. Fare thee well.
That was epic. I loved it.
Good.
You can only talk to me in that voice from now on.
Okay. I will work on that. Now, at that point, you must make your way inside the castle, and within each room you will explore items within to either gather for later use or perhaps solve a puzzle presented in front of you which will help you progress further into the game or to find another item for later use. As you progress, you will make sure to keep a torch lit at all times lest you get lost within the darkness inside Castle Shadowgate.
So you can't even say it when you're not talking like
I know. Now, if you happen to let your torch burn out, you will trip and die and break your neck.
It's kind of like Don't Starve.
Yeah. Now, the game is notorious for the numerous opportunities in which you will die. You can be burned to death by a dragon, dissolved in acidic slime, sucked into outer space via a mirror. There are sharks,
There was no outer
cyclops.
space back then.
There was outer space back then. What are you talking about? In a mirror, that's what made it unique. You break a mirror and you just get sucked in.
Gotcha.
Because who knew?
Did you buy this?
Yes, I did.
Is it as good as it used to be?
That's what I'm getting to. That's why I'm doing a review
Sorry.
on it, man.
All right, yeah, I guess I'm just going to shut the hell up.
Anyway, you get the point. There are numerous deaths, all ways you can die. All the deaths were featured and described in a detail via text, usually accompanied by some snarky little comment about how you died and how stupid you were to die. Luckily, should you die, you were always allowed to continue the game from the room prior to your death, so you're never having to start all the way back to the beginning, which would suck if you had to do that. The game has a rich history and narrative, which is accompanied by a prequel book called Before Shadowgate, a comic book called Shadowgate Saga Raven, and 2 video game sequels called Beyond Shadowgate and Shadowgate 64, The Trials of the Four Towers. These games provided more exposition into the story and the world within. Now, I vaguely remember playing the N64 version, and I would probably attribute that to being unmemorable, trying to recapture what it did with the original game and just didn't quite do it. All I know is that I was very unimpressed with it. Now, coming back to this game now, I was really concerned that my nostalgia glasses would kind of fog over, and I would just be like, oh God, I love this game because it was just something I remember from my childhood. Because I put the money down without even thinking, because I got 3 games and it was $7, and I was like, take
That's
it.
the one that came with Deja Vu and
The Uninvited.
The Uninvited, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was afraid that as soon as I started playing it, I was going to be bored and I'd be like, no, this isn't what I remember. That was not the case at all. Coming back to this game was like visiting a dear friend you hadn't seen in years, someone you had a rich history with, always enjoy their company. The music, which our audience is hearing right now as I'm speaking,
it's beautiful,
sticks with you. It's like each tune you heard within each room had its own unique flair, style, and it just stuck with you. It's memorable for me. The atmosphere within the game is still eerie to me to this day. You know, when something just kind of has some uneasy feeling to it, and no matter
Friday
what,
the 13th NES.
it just whatever it is, it just sticks with you. And even today, there's just something about some of the design choices that they did. It's just unnerving and weird for an 8-bit video game, you know, that it would be that way. But it still, to this day, does that for me. And I remember as a kid, I was creeped out because this was something I'd never seen before in a video game. Because at that time, you had Super Mario and Duck Hunt and all these other, lively games. And then here comes this horror game, which essentially it is. And it's got all this atmosphere that I'm not used to.
There definitely wasn't a lot of horror games back then.
No, absolutely not. And what's surprising about this is the content, especially stuff like the way you die and the way they describe it, was not censored. And Nintendo was notorious for censorship back then, about how you are saying things. A lot of games from Japan, I think, were censored quite a bit. So it was interesting that they let a lot of this slide, and it was probably because it wasn't physical, like you're not actually seeing it. But again, the descriptions are pretty detailed. So that was kind of interesting. But I'm glad it actually stayed the way it was. It made for a very memorable experience. Even coming back to a lot of the puzzles, as frustrating as they could be, it helped me kind of test my memory and trying to remember what these puzzles were, because I would look at something, I was like, I know something's here. I know it because I remember this as a kid, and there's something I'm not supposed to do here. Like the glass with the space that I mentioned that you could die. I remembered exactly which mirror it was, and I'm like, I'm not breaking that one.
The glass with the space that you could die.
So, again, it was fun to kind of go back through those. Even if I died in this game, if I happened to make a slip up because I forgot something, the gaze of the Grim Reaper was always a welcome sight, as were his words. It's a sad thing that your adventure have ended here. Now, when I purchased the 8-bit collection, I stumbled upon 2 remakes of this game on Steam, which I did not know existed. I was eager to check out the sleeker version, but upon reading some of the reviews, there were a lot of complaints that there was a new edition that essentially put you on a timer. Now, granted, you're kind of, I won't really say you're on a timer, where I kind of mentioned the torches. You have to light the torches as you go along, but you can find torches. You just make sure that you're picking them up per room, and then when your torch is about to die, you just go back, light it, and you're good to go. This apparently puts you have a curse, and you have a limited amount of time to finish this game or you die. And a lot of people were like, that's bullshit.
Not fair. It's not fair.
No, it's not
No,
fair.
no.
Yeah. But, I mean, on the same
Stick to
token...
your guns, though.
I like
She
curses.
changed it. It's like, I don't like it anymore. I just don't like it anymore. It's not fair.
Again, on the same token, the game did look gorgeous. I mean, they did comparisons of the old game to the new game in the trailer that I saw, and I was like, hey, it's pretty impressive, but if you have some bullshit little thing in there like that, I'm not playing it. Mm-hmm. And I don't really feel like that it would do it justice, because, again, even some of the people who played it and reviewed it said there was just something about it that lacked compared to the original. They said maybe it's the nostalgia. I don't know, but it didn't capture the spirit of the original. And I can believe that, because to come back to a game like this and still just feel like I remembered it fondly then and I still find it fond now, there's got to be something more to it than just oh, well, we need a sleeker version of this. It was a good game then, and it still is now.
Right.
So if you've never played it, check this out along with Deja Vu and The Uninvited. Like I mentioned, they play very similar, but not to say they're bad because I played them too. I didn't realize how quick you could get through these games.
Oh, that's how all the old games used to be.
Yeah, because, back then I remember spending hours going, God, I don't know where to go.
Because
I couldn't figure out the puzzles. But I actually kind of breezed through this. I was like, that took me about an hour or two. I was like, huh. Okay.
Remember the first time I beat Contra after I found that Nintendo?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember, like, just hours, like you said, hours upon hours. Never, ever got anywhere, it seemed like.
Yeah.
Then I get the new one, and, I get that Nintendo, and I go through it in an hour and 15 minutes. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. It's amazing. Just because I guess as kids we don't really think about it.
Yeah, I was going to say, how old were you when you played the original?
If that came out in 87, I was probably about 8 or 9.
Okay, yeah. And then doing it as a grown adult.
Yeah.
And
again, I remembered there were times that I would look at something and be like, I know something's here, and I can't put my finger on it, so I'd have to think on it, and eventually I would figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
So it was nice to have that memory kind of flood back a little bit and just say, come on now, you know what's going on here. And I made a few mistakes because I would be looking at something like the acid slime. There was a room full of coffins, and you got to open one up because I think there was a mummy in one of them, and you had to burn it, and there was a key inside. While I was looking at all the coffins, I'm like, open that one, something's in there. And then I opened the one with the slime, and I was like, oh yeah, slime. That'll be fine. And then I walked into it, and then it was like, nope, you're dead. I was like, shit.
Awesome.
So, but it was, again, still cool.
Well, let me ask you this. How many balls do you give it? That's the new rating system.
5 balls.
5 out of 5 balls.
Yes.
Should we do 6? That way there's 3 pairs?
No. 5 balls. This is a special ball case. You have to have 5.
5 balls.
5 balls out of 5.
Bravo.
I'm just going to bring this up totally off topic, just because, I love video games and I work in the healthcare field and thinking about the memory and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, and there might be, I just haven't really looked into it, if there's like major studies in brain function and retaining as you get older with the use of video games, not only just like remembering them, because you had, but like the puzzles and things like that. Because, if you continue to use it and your brain function keeps developing and everything, and then maybe possibly reducing like dementia, like Alzheimer's and stuff like that happen. And I just think of this because there's a streamer out there. This lady's 90 years old, and I'm like, that's gonna be me.
That's awesome.
And she loves Skyrim and everything, and the kids like love her videos, and she looks amazing, and she sounds amazing. She doesn't sound like a 90-year-old. She's totally with it.
I'm gonna have to look
She
her
really
up.
understands the game, believe it or not. It's wild. Check her out. I wish I knew her name. But
I'm sure she
obviously
wouldn't
just
be
look
hard
up
to find.
90-year-old like female streamer. And,
That's what you have to look up, 90-year-old female.
But I think she's a YouTuber, not a streamer. Like
Either way, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure it'd be easy to find.
yeah, check it out. But I was like, oh, that would be like really cool. I don't know if there's actually like studies on it. Now I'm curious.
I know that there have been studies where they have tried to attribute certain gameplay to memory, to other factors, believe it or not, because I know that obviously there have been those where they try to shoot down the negative where games cause violence, blah, 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 and all that. And that's been disputed so many times.
Oh yeah.
But I honestly think that if there are games that actually allow you, thought process, you actually got to take the time to really figure out a problem solving.
Yeah.
It's got to help. It has to. I don't care if it's a video game or not. You're having to think something through. Some of my favorite games, which, that's all it is, Professor Layton for the 3DS, they are puzzle games. You are handed different puzzles, and there are just times you just sit there saying, I know what this answer is.
You need to
Yeah.
play
It's
the witness.
there. And you just have to rack your brain thinking, all right, stop thinking, right here and think outside the box for a moment. What am I missing? And you have a sense of pride when you finally figure it out. It's like, yeah, God, yes, okay. Because they are those brain teasers.
That thing right there. It's like, yes,
You need to play The Witness.
The Witness?
Yeah.
What's that for?
The PS4.
Is it? I'll look it up.
It's a puzzle game, and they say it's probably the best puzzle game.
Nice. The Witness.
Yeah, you're on an
Well,
island.
I feel like I've heard that. I know.
You play. I think Jonathan Blow, the guy that did.
There you
I
go.
think he's the one that
Yeah,
made
yeah, yeah. He did Braid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. I think he is.
That sounds right after you said it.
because he's like a one-man studio, or he was. And he did Braid by
Because
himself.
Braid, that was... You had to kind of think on that.
And didn't he do Bastion? Am I thinking wrong on that one?
Sounds right, too.
Yeah, I know there's
People listening, if you know that we're wrong, comment, because you don't comment on anything else.
Yes, just comment on that.
What's wrong with you people? Don't be scared.
Comment.
Like, I can't type today.
It's fine. Well, guys, that's our show.
Good show.
Yay.
Yay. We did a decent show.
Welcome.
Thank you.
It was weird seeing her in person.
Yeah. We'd like to thank all of our listeners for following our podcast across the web. Leave us reviews on Podbean, iTunes, YouTube, Google Play Music, wherever you listen. We love to hear from you. Also, follow our Facebook page, join our community page, talk video games with other gamers, give us topics to discuss. Hop over to Redbubble, which we may be changing soon, to get an official t-shirt. I'm just saying that right now, just as a heads up. I think I found a better spot.
Oh, yeah.
What is it?
Well, I don't know if I want to say that yet. I'll tell you off street or off the air, because I don't want to say anything yet. It's not set in stone yet. But we're just saying. You can also go to patreon.com/Pencil and Paper Productions to help support the show. $5 or more will get you early access to content such as Season 2 of our show, Man Cave, which is out now. Woo! Episode 3 should be available now. Episode 4 will release after Thanksgiving. I know you're going to have to wait 2 weeks, but I don't think anyone's going to be, jumping on YouTube during their Thanksgiving holidays.
I asked.
I know.
I say we put it out.
I need a little bit more time. Episodes 5 and 6 need a little bit more work. I'm still in post.
This is the Felix episode.
Yes.
No,
So
it's my
if
favorite.
you are listening now, if you've seen the Felix episode, I'd love to know what you think. Just curious. But anyway, thank you so much for listening. I'm Stephen White.
And I'm Todd Stark.
And I'm Wyked Beth.
Yes, thank you, Beth, for being here for our 20th episode.
Yay.
20th.
Yeah, we'll have another 20 down the road before you know it.
Hopefully.
Join us again next time. But until then, game on.